Innovation is a major part of what our farmers are doing day in and day out to make food that's healthy for us and for the planet. We were lucky enough to welcome this storyteller on the fabulous 413 a couple weeks ago. From Worthington, please welcome Lincoln Fishman.
The adult Colorado potato beetle is black and yellow striped. It's shiny, it's beautiful actually, and it lands on your potato plant. I didn't think this species was gonna get applause. That's really weird. It crawls underneath the leaf of your potato plant and it lays these glistening orange eggs. They look like mini caviar. And out of these pretty little eggs hatch the most revolting, soft-bodied, pinkish-reddish larvae, and they proceed to devour your potato crop, and then no potatoes. So you have to get out there multiple times per season and control them. And control means kill. So it's early July. It's hot as hell. My buddy Butch and I are up in the potato field. He's holding a push broom in each hand, and he's just charging down the rows of potatoes, whapping the plants and knocking these larvae off onto the ground where they wriggle helplessly. And I'm right behind him. I'm wearing a kid carrier backpack with a 40-pound tank of propane connected to a flame weeder, which is just a flamethrower. And I am toasting these suckers. They're popping and sizzling. You smell it. And it's loud. It's like... So you can't talk, but as he gets to the end of the row and comes back the other way, we have a brief moment to sort of like smile maniacally at each other, like... We're feeling really, it's innovative. Like this is the first time we've done it, and it's effective and it's efficient. And it's just row after row. I get to the end of this one row, I stop. There's my cousin Yupadee. We look very different. She's wearing a big, broad sun hat. She's got on flowy pants and a flowy shirt. She looks very stylish and very clean. And she's holding this bouquet of wildflowers that she just harvested from the hayfield. And I'm holding this flamethrower. She says, "What are you doing?" I feel like it might be a trick question, but maybe not, because Yupadee grew up in Bangkok, went to design school there, and then moved to Brooklyn where she met my cousin Steve, and they got married, and now she's like a very high-end jewelry designer in Brooklyn. So maybe she doesn't know. So I tell her what I just told you. You know, they land on the plant, and they eat the potatoes, and there's no potatoes. I finish, and she's clearly not satisfied. It was a trick question. That's not what she meant. She meant, like, what are you doing? Because Yupadee grew up Buddhist, and in her 40s, she just got much more so, to the point now she has a salad, there's a bug in it, and she'll pick it out and put it in her palm and take it outside and put it gently under a leaf. So, like, that's what she means. I totally get where she's coming from. Actually, I share all her beliefs. I got into farming because I wanted to grow food in harmony with the world. I actually, 20 years ago, I was living in Brooklyn myself. I was teaching high school. I got to teach this one class about nutrition and the way that interacts with the food system and how that interacts with climate change. It was super fascinating, stuff I hadn't really thought about. And I was so interested, I wanted to do it myself. I wanted to do it the right way. And then you start farming commercially, and it's like wicked hard. It's hard to make money, it's hard to have enough time, and so you make concessions. That's what it is. So all this is swirling through my mind as I try to answer her question again, and I said something like, well, from the second I plant these potatoes, something is trying to eat them. If it's not bugs, it's like weeds are trying to kill them. And in order to keep actually harvest potatoes, I have to kill that stuff. That's just how it is. And you get to the la-di-da, you're a vegetarian, you think like animals are the only thing that suffer and nothing has to suffer in order to eat vegetables. But that's just because I get out here every day. I get out here every day, and I have to do the dirty work that you don't want. And so I wrapped that up eventually. She said, "There has to be a better way." I'm like, oh. Show me how. So now it's 2020, early 2020, the very beginning of COVID, and like I said, she and Steve live in Brooklyn, so it's ground zero. She gets it. It's getting bad. It gets worse. She's having trouble breathing. They take her to the hospital. It's mayhem at the hospital. But her blood oxygen is in the 60s. It's supposed to be in the 90s, so they admit her immediately. They intubate her. They respirate her. They send Steve home, no spouses. respirated, you can't communicate. There's no contact between them now. All you can do is call the hospital for updates. He's going crazy in his apartment. I'm calling him like, did you eat today? When was the last time you showered? Finally, he's like, you just come quarantine with me. You can't see her anyway, and that way I can at least support you while you support her. So he does. He comes up. It's a week. It's 2 weeks. And my vision of him from that time, he's sitting in this leather recliner. He's called the hospital. His phone's just sitting in his lap, and is ringing. It's ringing, is ringing. It's ringing in nurse's station somewhere where they're all too overwhelmed to pick up the phone. He's just staring at the wall. And I'm cooking. Yupadee's the cooker in the relationship, so I sort of stepped into that role and making him good farm food. It's 3 weeks, it's 4 weeks. I'm also at this point planning the season. Like it is, getting to be that time. And so I'm thinking about all that stuff too, although she's extremely present. And I wish I could pinpoint a moment for you when this shift happened, but I can't. It was a slow roll. Somewhere in there, I stopped doing intellectual battle with her ideas, and I let my defenses down, and I let those ideas into my heart. Of course she was right. She was in the hospital for 31 days, and on the 31st day, her lungs collapsed, and she died. I promised myself I wasn't going to forget what she'd taught me, and I was going to farm Yupadee's way or not at all. I was feeling crazy. I really was ready to fail, and so we took all of our old systems and rolled them up into a ball and threw them away and implemented these crazy new ideas. And it was good that we were ready to fail because we mostly did. But we had some successes too. One of them, we took that hayfield where she'd like to pick flowers. We plowed up these strips in it far apart, and we planted vegetables in the strips, and then we just let the rest of it grow. And it was just a riot of life. It was these tall grasses and all these flowers and insects and birds. She would have loved it. And you'd be wandering through, and you'd just stumble across a row of vegetables. And one of them, we planted potatoes, and the potatoes came up, of course, green and beautiful. And then, of course, the potato beetles came. And then, of course, they laid their eggs. And then the eggs never hatched. And I can't tell you why specifically, but in general, we had invited in life. We had let go of control, and there was more and more and more life. Yupadee's way. Thank you.